Here are the two 2024 Ford trucks. We got the all-new Ranger in carbonized gray metallic over ebony interior, and we got the F-150 XLT in Oxford white over black interior. Both of these vehicles got a full refresh this year, in which the F-150 drops an engine. Both have the sports appearance package. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over the differences and compare the two with some pros and cons and the problem that I have with comparable rivals. Starting with the new Ranger, C-structure LED headlights and daytime runnings that integrate into the reworked grille. We're going to have the carbonized gray metallic inside because of the sports appearance package. The lower gets the fog lamps that are LED with front and rear parking sensors and a 360-degree reverse camera, also because of that sport appearance package. And ground clearance over 9 inches. Now, you will have to bump it up more than a few grand, especially if you are going to change out the engine and add specs to the F-150. Both XLTs are kind of the sweet spot. The front of the F-150 gets the reworked headlamp assembly and the grille with the gloss black elements. The lower bumper has been swapped out with LED fog lights, front and rear parking sensors, and a 360-degree reverse camera, and ground clearance can go over 11 inches. Underneath the hood is going to change the configuration, because on the Ranger we have the 2.3-liter EcoBoost inline 4-cylinder turbocharged that produces 290 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, achieving 21 mpgs for the city, 24 mpgs for the highway. Now, on the F-150, we've swapped out the base engine. We have the 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 twin turbo producing 400 horsepower with 500 pound-feet of torque. When you're thinking Coyote V8, because that's my favorite variant for the engine option, that's 90 pound-feet of torque less than this. You're going to achieve 16 mpgs for the city, 24 mpgs for the highway, and we have the 18-inch gloss black alloy wheels. We get the running boards and the F-150 badging. Because this is the 145.4 wheelbase, the payload is going to max at 2,190 pounds. But as for towing, 13,100 pounds. And if you go to the larger wheelbase, you're only going to get up to 13,800 pounds, which this is still going to have 100 pounds more than that Coyote V8. So this is kind of the sweet spot, but you will have to tack a few $1,000s to your F-150 in order to do so. Whereas we got the 17-inch carbonized gray metallic alloy wheels because of the sport appearance package. The running boards is also an upgraded charge. We do not have the step that is in the rear. That's about $500. I would recommend doing that, and I would tack on the sports appearance package because it's under $3 grand. It's giving you the pro trailer and the tech package, so you're getting quite a bit of value. And when you're thinking competition, 7,500 pounds of towing and over 1,800 pound payload, it's going to outclass everybody except for the Colorado. That's at 7,700 pounds for a max tow. Swap out the engine to the 2.7. You're going to increase in horsepower and torque, but you're going to decrease to just a touch over 1,700 pounds payload. And when you go into the XLT, you could swap either of the engines. So it can be the same configuration as the Lariat. However, the Lariat and the Raptor will get more standard features. And once you start going to that price, you might as well consider the F-150 or the Raptor Ranger. And when you're looking at the rear perspective of these two vehicles, the Ranger is going to sit very similar to the F-150. The difference is this is more or less the old F-150, whereas the F-150 just keeps getting larger. LED taillights, we get the tow hitch, spare tire tucked underneath, and this year they have got a reconfiguration for the tailgate to make it a little bit more usable than anybody in its class. The major difference between the two really is, do you need the extra power for towing and payload, and do you need the extra length for the bed? Soft to open, and that's going to be 78.9 inches long between the wheel well housing at 50.6 inches, height at 21.4 inches, cargo volume at 62.3 inches because we got the bed liner. You lift this up here, it's going to expose the home plug, and the reconfigured tailgate that has the measurements here to make it easier for your workload. You can also put clamps, which you have here on both sides, so you can put your tools here so you can cut anything. Push this, and it's going to expand out. Pull this lever here, and now it's easy to walk inside to load anything. Soft open, going into 59.6 inches long, a height at 34.7 inches between the wheel well housing at 48.2 inches, with a cargo capacity at 43.5 cubic feet. We have a 12 volt and a home plug, and on the tailgate you'll get the measurement so it makes the day in and day out use easy. Ten-way power seat adjustment for the front with the cloth upholstery. 10-way power seat adjustment for the passenger and driver. Heated front seats. Headroom and leg room. You're gonna have quite a bit of space. More headroom and legroom in this than the Ranger. Headroom and leg room. The new Ranger is going to have a little bit more storage, and it starts on the passenger side because we now have a storage pocket in the dash. It's going to be a flat dash layout. 6 speakers is standard. The B&Os will be on the Lariat and the Raptor, and that's standard. 10-inch is going to be standard for here. We have the upgraded 12-inch, and if you go into the XL, you can't even get this. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth, audio. You have the zone lighting, which is the same thing as the F-150, so I like that because this is smaller, and yet you still have some of the same configuration as that. For the 360-degree reverse camera, you can click here. You can also click on different camera positions here to see all around the vehicle to zoom in and out. Click here, it's going to give you a little menu so you can change the configuration to see a little bit more so for your towing or for the side profile. Whereas on the F-150, 2 glove box start off for storage. With the texture for the dashboard on the passenger and driver side, you got a storage sleeve here. You can option things like the B&O sound system. This has auto dimming rear view mirror. We do not have a moonroof, but we do have the power rear window. The center will have a 12-inch information display with navigation. This has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth, audio. We also have the towing, which is great, and you can put everything for your services plus the zone lighting. When you're taking it off-road or going camping, you can light the vehicle on all 4 corners. Driving assist, you can change different features on and off. Put it into reverse, and we have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. When you click here, it will zoom into the tow, in which it will be easier for you to line up. You can close that off, click here, and now you have a sub-menu that you can go through a lot of different settings so you can see all around the vehicle. Dual climate control settings, 12 volt, home plug. A lot of buttons still is in the configuration, which I kind of wish they cleaned it up, but in the same aspect, I like that we have physical buttons so you don't have to do everything through this touch screen. Push this here and it will lower, so that way you could option this where it folds out into a table, helping for a workload. Opening it up, it's a deep storage pocket. You can put change, your business cards, and it's even more deep inside, and the key fob for the new F-150. Dual climate control settings, which you can use physical buttons, and you can do the same thing for the temperature, speed, or you can just simply click onto it. Wireless charging pad, which you can't get on the XL. And it's going to have a little bit of a storage here with a pin or key fob holder. Driving mode select on the 10-inch gauge cluster, which we do have a few driving modes. You got leather wrap steering wheel. It is multi-function with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and because of the sport appearance package, that's why we have the upgraded tech with the navigation. It's going to be soft to touch here, opens up into a pretty deep storage pocket with a 12-volt charger. Auto dimming rear view mirror, no moonroof, but when you click onto this button here, you can open up the rear window. Leather wrap steering wheel, it's multi-function. The gauge cluster has a 12.3 digital read, and you got your grab handle that starts off. I like that we have the American flag on both sides here. Door panel and dash configuring together, and you get the blind spot monitoring inside. And the reason why this is configured this way is so that you can see the side view mirrors, and it gives more visibility for the front. One touch up and down for all the windows. Soft to touch where it needs to be. 2 tiers of storage, making the larger on the bottom with a cup or beverage holder. And to turn the side view mirror lights on, you could do so here for the zone lighting for quick lighting up. And you could open the tailgate right here. The door panels and dashboard configuring together. You get the gloss black around the air vent, so it looks similar to the Bronco. And I like the texture that they add throughout the dash because it makes it a little bit more rugged looking. Door panel is gonna have one touch up and down for the windows. You'll get the pattern that comes in, and it's gonna be soft to touch with a long storage pocket and about 2 beverage holders carved out. For the back seats, you can pull this lever here, lift up the seat at a 40-60 split. You'll have a little bit of a divider. The floor is more or less flat, so you have a lot of storage capabilities here. For the back seat, pull it all the way up, and now you have a compartment area that you can put some goodies. The floor isn't completely flat, but it basically leaves areas so everything isn't rolling around. And pull the lever here, and you can fold these down. So now you have a flat area. Because we have the running boards, it makes it a little easy. There isn't any grab handle. Leg space is not going to be a problem, nor is headroom for the back seats. We're gonna have USB ports, home plug, a storage pocket, storage behind the passenger seat, cup holders with an armrest, and the door is gonna have the same segment as the front, so you get the pattern, soft to touch, with about the same size storage pocket. Sliding into the center, because the rails are pushed up, feet space isn't too bad, but leg and shoulder space is actually pretty good, as well as headroom. And to make it easy with the running boards and the grab handle so you can get inside, leg space is not going to be an issue, nor is headroom. Like I said, in the front, it's basically an SUV with a bed. You're gonna have storage behind both of the front seats, 12-volt charger, home plug, USB ports, air vents. Door panel is going to get a cup or beverage holder in the top and 2 tiers of storage, soft to rest your arms. Slide into the center. You have your own feet space, so you don't have to worry. Same thing with butt, leg, and shoulder space. It's a very wide vehicle, and headroom is not going to be an issue at 6'3". 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, which is 90 pound-feet of torque more than my favorite variant, the Coyote V8. But I do like the V6 3.5 liter twin turbo EcoBoost engine because you're getting quite a bit in a package, except it's still not really fuel efficient. You're just getting a little bit better towing and payload. Check out what you get. A smooth drive all the way through, and we have an off-roading suspension kit. Now, when we're comparing this against that Ranger, it's definitely going to be something that gives you a little bit more bang for your buck if you're not looking to get over 2,000 pounds payload and over 13,000 pounds towing capabilities, because that can do most of your everyday work. But this is going to be a little bit more smooth in the interior. It's going to be a lot more quiet. You sit up a lot more so. You just feel a little bit more dominant, but turn radius in this is going to be a half a lane more. It's also a lot longer, so getting in and out of parking is going to be a lot more tight, and that's going to take me to some pros and cons. Both vehicles are one of the best for utilities. They basically are like tools that you keep in a shed, and you know you can use them and get the job done. When you think of other variants, they may not be able to compensate what this or the Ranger can do. The cons to this is all of the powertrains are just thirsty in fuel. When you go into the Ranger, it's a little bit better for your MPGs, but anytime you push the gas pedal more than 2.5 to 3 RPMs, both vehicles are gonna just drink gas like alcoholics. And they're turbocharged or twin turbocharged engines, so you're going to expect that. Which takes me to a con for the Ranger. I wish you could get a naturally aspirated V6, because if you could, that by far would be the best variant to get. Because Ford is still giving us an actual V8, so I applaud them for that. Because when you think about the Ram Rebel, well, they're not going to have that for 2025. A pro for the F-150 is you can option larger beds. You can't do that on the Ranger. They're going to be smaller. But a pro on the Ranger is you don't have that suspension problem that's kind of known for the F-150, where the vehicle can just jump around on the interstate and then all of a sudden it's just back to normal and it's hard to duplicate. And this is definitely going to be a con for me, because in the Ranger I would be able to do a U-turn. As you're noticing, I have to wait till it's completely empty because this is getting over 3 lanes for a turn radius. But the drive is so much more comfortable. You have a lot more power underneath the hood. You have a lot of different power options and a lot more capabilities. As for the Ranger, 270 horsepower with 310 pound-feet of torque. Is it going to be enough to get the day in and day out job? Yes. 7,500 pounds of towing is quite a bit, and over 1,800 pounds payload. So I don't necessarily think you need to option the 2.7 liter engine, but if you are okay with spending a little bit of extra dough going into the F-150, it will surpass this by miles. But for me, I used to own a boat and the dry weight was around 4,600 pounds, and usually around 55 to 6,000 pounds is doable. And when you're considering the Colorado gets an additional 200 pounds for towing, it's awesome that you're getting these capabilities in a smaller, compact configuration. The interior is going to feel a little bit more cramped, but it should. You still have leg and head space though for the rear, so I like that you're taking care of there. But then the bed configuration is not going to be as much as the F-150. So they kind of give you a touch of what you need, but if you want a full-blown work truck, you still are going to have to fork out some money because you're not going to be able to get that long of a bed. As for the comfort, the F-150 is going to be a little bit more comfortable, and some of that is also derived because of how much more it weighs. Both are body-on-frame trucks, and both have over 9 inches of clear. But me personally, I like the Ranger a little bit more so because even parking it into a garage, it's a little bit easier to do so with this. Getting in and out of tight spaces, the same thing. The turn radius is going to be almost half a lane less when you go to this. So if you are putting spec to spec, I can understand why you would go the F-150, but then I wouldn't necessarily feature it up because then it starts escalating into a high $60,000 to near $80,000 price point, in which you can get the XLT Ranger like we have here, 41 grand, and you can still get the work job done. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Furman Ford for giving us these two 2024 Fords, the Ranger versus the F-150, for our comparison car review.